Montreal, the everyday and the extraordinary. The Elias Makos Show on CJAD 800.
Well, this project took years to get set up. The construction took a while. The opening was originally scheduled for weeks ago, but then U.S. President Donald Trump took a bribe. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say he took a bribe? He didn't take a bribe. He accepted a very generous donation from the owner of a competing bridge in the region of the new Gordie Howe Bridge. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump had a problem with the deal underpinning the Gordie Howe Bridge, and he forced changes to it. Still, the delayed opening is taking place today, but in light of the Trump tariffs announced earlier this week, it's only on the Canadian side. It's a Canada-only celebration of the opening of Gordie Howe Bridge. We go now to a woman on the scene, CTV News Windsor reporter Michelle Maluske. Thanks for joining us here on CJAD Montreal.
Thank you for having me.
Set the scene for us. What does it look like? We're just a matter of minutes now away from the ceremony, are we not?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's slated to begin at 11:30. We all, the media, had to be in a parking lot, I would say less than 2 kilometers from the foot of the bridge at 9:30. We were pre-cleared by CBSA to be able to even attend this. We were bussed here on big tour buses and escorted directly to the only place we're allowed to be, which is essentially an area about the size of a football field where the media is all set up with tons and tons of cameras. Our friends from Detroit are here as well to cover this event. And it's difficult to explain, but we're technically not on the bridge deck itself. We're on the Canada-bound approach to the CBSA toll booths, where travelers, when they cross the Gordie Howe Bridge from Detroit, we're basically standing where the cars will wait to go through customs, is where we're standing. It is a who's who. And all of my newsy friends and listeners out there will appreciate it's like fish in a barrel for interviews here. Interviews with community members, people who fought for this day, politicians, counselors, first responders. They're all here. This is a very, very big day for Windsor. We've been talking about this, get this, since 2002. I covered when Jean Chrétien was here with Ernie Eves, former premier, when they said, we've got to give money, short, medium, and long-term solutions for Windsor-Detroit corridor. Today is a reality of that initial idea in 2002. It's incredible. It's almost surreal to be standing here.
It is interesting. You note that some journalism colleagues from the Detroit side are there. This is indicating that this is a big deal story in their region too.
Oh, it 100% is a big deal on their side. The bridge in Windsor, the Ambassador Bridge, the reason that they wanted to have a third border crossing, the Ambassador Bridge runs through a residential neighborhood. And so imagine, you want to take your child to school. You've got to deal with transport trucks blocking intersections. You want to go for a walk in your neighborhood. You have to listen to transport trucks barreling through your community, through your neighborhood, 24/7, 365 days a year. That's why all of this needed to happen. And so this is on the industrial side of the city of Windsor, and it lands technically in Delray, Michigan, which is like a suburb of Detroit. And so it lands and then connects Highway 401 directly to I-96 and I-75. You only have to stop once. Before, there used to be 11 stoplights between Detroit and Montreal. Now there used to be 11 stoplights between Detroit and Montreal. 9 of them were in Windsor. Now there are none, other than customs. It's pretty amazing when you think about what they've done here in Windsor. All levels of government have done in Windsor to make getting across the border easier for travelers and businesses.
Are you getting any sense from the Canadian officials who work so hard to get this project going over the past more than 2 decades that there is a shadow hanging over it because they are not joined by their American counterparts because of this dispute?
Local leaders, local politicians are expressing that, yes, it is disappointing. There was an opportunity here for the Prime Minister and the President to literally meet in the middle of the most high-tech, tech-savvy, state-of-the-art infrastructure project that cost $6.4 billion. There was an opportunity here to have a really great ceremony, shaking of hands of two great nations and showing what we can do when we work together. That was the theme all the way through this. Workers in Detroit and workers in Windsor, 15,000 people built this bridge. They worked towards each other. The decking started in Windsor, started in Detroit, and the decking went out over the Detroit River and eventually met in the middle. And I don't remember the number, but they were within inches of each other. That's how skilled the workers are who built this bridge. And there was a beautiful moment when a worker from Canada and a worker from the United States reached across and shook hands for the very first time. That was in 2004. So today, it is a little bit disappointing that that beautiful moment is going to be lost to history. However, that was the sentiment before today. Today, smiles, shaking hands, patting on the back, Canada flags everywhere. There's a hockey game happening here. Lots of people are wearing red in solidarity of who we are as a country. I haven't heard anyone talking about the United States or Donald Trump and the disappointment of all of this. It's such a big deal, and we're trying to lean into this is a good day if only we want to see it that way.
Who is the highest ranking politician there?
Oh, that is a great question. Well, I mean, we know that Ontario's Premier Doug Ford is coming, and on the list of speakers is Mark Weissman, who is the Canadian ambassador to the United States. So those would be the heavy hitters. I mean, officials with CBSA are here, obviously, local politicians, Windsor's mayor. I haven't seen the Detroit mayor, Mary Sheffield. So, I mean, that's a good question, but I'm not sure who supersedes who. Is the ambassador higher than the Premier of Ontario? I'm not really sure.
Oh, that is a good question. I was just wondering, whether Doug Ford would be there, but I'm glad that he is there to represent Canada on this day. Michelle Maluske, I appreciate your time very much on such a busy morning for you. We'll let you get back to your reporting. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for having me on. It's a thrill to be with you today.
Michelle Maluske, CTV News Windsor reporter, and as she mentioned, has been covering this story for years and years. So you can understand the excitement just through her voice of what's going on today as the Gordie Howe Bridge inauguration due to get underway in about 14 minutes. We are going to traffic.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Debate, interviews, and breaking news. The Elias Makos Show. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
11:20 CJAD time on this day that has brought us a little bit of cloud. I think we were hoping for a little bit more sun at this point, but there are sunny breaks in the forecast for this afternoon. A high today, 27 degrees. The humidex 32. Right now, by the way, we're at 23. In a moment, I will bring you an update to a story we mentioned yesterday and that the Gazette broke yesterday on its website and has on its front page this morning about 3 deaths of youth in the care of Batshaw, the Youth Protection Service for Anglo-Montreal community. in just 1 month. And we've received a statement from the Director of Youth Protection for Quebec, and we'll get into that in a moment. Right now, a much happier story. It's about a great community event. Takes place every year in Ormstown. It's the Valley Flower Show, and it is tomorrow. And here to tell us more about it is a member of the organizing committee. No relation. It's Joanne Mason. Joanne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. And flower show time has rolled around once again. One of the characteristics I've always loved of the Valley Flower Show is that you have very interesting categories for your competition. They're always themed. They're always cute. Sometimes there's like little puns involved, a play on words, and so on. This year, your theme is Flowers with Style. Joanne, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, it's an interesting twist with flowers and fashion to go hand in hand.
So the categories, are they the same as always, or have you introduced any new categories this year?
We've introduced the Peony Challenge, which we had introduced a while ago, but we introduced it again to see if anybody could save their peonies over, because normally peonies, they start earlier. So if you put them in the fridge and you take them out by now, just to flower for tomorrow, and see if anybody has managed to accomplish that challenge.
How has the growing season for flowers been in the Ormstown region this year?
Everything's slow. Everything's taking its time. It's one of those growing seasons where everything's behind, but except for the peonies. They were early.
Ironically, both working against your interest in having a flower show at this time of year. Your hopes for some of the categories, are you expecting to see great competition in certain categories at the flower show this year?
I'm sure that we'll have good competition for the blue jeans category that we have, which is a playful display of flowers inside a beautiful pocket there of blue jeans, or My Lady's fan, that you fan out your flowers to make a nice semicircle floral arrangement, or even the kimono, which is a Japanese-style flower arrangement, which should be interesting to see what people Googled to see how to do that one. So, yeah, it should be interesting.
It is kind of cool to see the creativity that springs from the categories, because these aren't just, plain and ordinary categories where you're although you have them, like the best rose, for example, the best single rose, but this is really calling on people who love flowers to arrange them in interesting and different ways. And some of them turn out to be quite intricate, don't they, every year?
Yeah, and some interpretations are really left field, and you wouldn't think, oh, yeah, that's a good way to do it, too.
So much inspiration.
Yeah, very creative people, for sure.
So tell us about the nuts and bolts, the when, the where, and the admission fee.
We're having our flower shows tomorrow, which is Saturday, from 1 to 4 at the Ormstown Rec Center, 87 Roy Street. $7 for adult, $2 for children. We have a website that you could check out, valleyflowershow.weebly.com, and we're also on Facebook. It sounds like Stray Dog Media will be there, and for taking videos of the show. And
that sounds like fun. Are you going to have the tea room again this year, and the raffles and that type of thing?
We are, and the book table as well. So, everybody's on their game and getting ready for that. And we have a wonderful group of volunteers, and we're well organized.
That's good to hear, Joanne. Once again, the Ormstown Rec Center, 1 to 4 tomorrow afternoon. The Rec Center is at 87 Roy Street in Ormstown. And very good luck, Joanne. Thanks for joining me on the air.
Thank you for having me. Hope to see you tomorrow.
You just may, as a matter of fact. Joanne Mason, one of the members of the organizing committee of the annual Valley Flower Show. All right, as promised, here is that update to that very disturbing story that the Gazette broke yesterday about 3 deaths in the space of 1 month this spring of kids who were in the care of Montreal's Anglophone Youth Protection Agency. 2 of the deaths involving teenagers were kids who took their own lives. The third involved a very young child, aged 4, who died while during a period where the child was supposed to be visited every couple of weeks by a youth protection officer to assess the situation. The cause of death not entirely clear, but the Gazette notes that there were bruises on this 4-year-old's body at the time of death, and there were signs of malnourishment. So this information came to the Gazette from Batshaw workers increasingly frustrated by chronic staffing problems and organizational problems that were holding back the proper care of kids entrusted to the youth protection system. For example, one of the girl who took her life, the teenage girl who took her life, she was at Prévost, which is Batshaw's facility up north. She had a track record of suicide attempts, so she was being held in a lockdown ward with offenders, youth offenders, young offenders. She herself was not an offender. She was a vulnerable teenager who had been taken out of a bad situation for her own protection. So in that situation, she was supposed to be, carefully monitored, but the rules were relaxed and she ended up taking her own life. As I said, a very disturbing story. Here is part of the statement from Quebec's Provincial Youth Protection Director, Leslie Hill. She says, all these cases were brought to my attention in March and April by the institution concerned, which is Batshaw. I am deeply saddened for each of these children and adolescents, for their families, and for the professionals involved. I can assure you that each of these situations has been analyzed with the necessary rigor by the institution's competent authorities, pending the results of the coroner's investigations. The death of any child is a tragedy. Given that these investigations are ongoing, I will not comment on individual cases. However, the statement from Leslie Hill to CTV goes on to say, to enumerate the things that have been done to address we have been talking about manpower shortages in youth protection for years, ever since the Granby girl and probably before. So I am taking these statements kind of with a grain of salt, because there is a lot of bureaucratic, we developed the directive to ensure the safety of children awaiting assignment. This directive requires a risk assessment for every child, immediate care for any child deemed to be at high risk, mandatory monitoring for every child on the waiting list through partnerships, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of bureaucratese here. What the Batshaw workers told the Gazette is that on the ground, this is not stopping kids from falling through the cracks. Kids from not being monitored sufficiently, kids not getting those visits regularly. So the system, because it doesn't have the manpower, because it has employee churn with constant departures and then having to bring new people on board, are they properly qualified to do this work? Are they going to last? Are they being properly trained on the job? The only thing of interest I found was this statement: a meeting held June 11th with the National Committee on Access to English Language Services to outline the recurring access issues faced by English-speaking populations regarding youth protection services, enabling the committee to draft an advisory opinion if deemed appropriate. Well, let's get on it, shall we? Let's get on it. We have been talking for years about these problems, and we have 3 kids dead in the span of a month. No wonder these dismayed Batshaw workers went anonymously to the Gazette to talk about the problem. They are issuing a cry for help. I think we need to heed it. It is 11:30 when we return, how one Montreal company is giving back through education.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Missed something?
Subscribe to the Elias Makos Show podcast to catch up.
Available on iHeartRadio and wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, the folks in Master Control are looking at me with, their eyes wide going, I think it's time for you to talk now. Yeah, I will talk. I will tell you that we're about to speak to the founder of an outfit here in Montreal. It's an education company, and it is doing some amazing work in very desperate places. More on that coming up.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus, now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back
2010s, the decade.
to the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd,
And more. All your decade-defining favorites all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away. Debate, interviews, and breaking news. The Elias Makos Show. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Trudie sitting and bringing word now about an outfit here in Montreal that specializes in education and that has gone into some very disadvantaged parts of the world, including into places that have been really torn apart by war, conflict, so on. I welcome to CJAD Max Brie, founder of Capyo. Max, good morning.
Hi, Trudie. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about Capyo. How long has it been in existence and what is its goal?
Yeah, so Capyo has been around for a little bit less than a year. We're a Montreal-based social enterprise. And really, Capyo is a personalized learning platform built for some of the most underserved communities in the world. We take whatever an institution already has, curriculum, textbooks, or training, and our platform turns it into complete interactive learning for students, teachers, and administrators in more than 100 different languages and rare dialects. And oftentimes the communities that we work with lack, infrastructure, so we provide computers, internet, reliable power, whatever they need to get online and learning.
Tell us about this most recent project that took you to Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone was an amazing experience. We traveled to McKinney, Sierra Leone to provide a laptop, Starlink, and our learning platform, Capyo, to over 300 students while we were there. So it was a great experience. We worked with Heritage Academy, but once we arrived, we realized that so many of the students that we were working with had never even used a laptop before. So, we spent a little bit of time teaching them the basics of the technology, getting teachers and administrators set up. And by the time we were on our second day of the deployment, other schools in the area had heard about it. And so the school created a sort of schedule where other schools could come in, use the laptops and resources that we're providing, and it ended up being a resource for over 600 students in the area.
And how were you able to afford this? What is your model of functioning? Where does your money come from?
Yeah, of course. So Capyo is a social enterprise. We work with a charity in Canada called Global Impact. So we're able to work with family offices, individual donors, impact investors, and then also companies. Unlike traditional charitable models where you're normally giving to a general fund and your money gets dispersed, what happens with Capyo is that we work with these groups to identify a specific school and region, and we direct your funds to that specific cause. So it's very traceable, and it ensures that if you want to really impact a specific, demographic or part of the world, you can do it really efficiently and trace the entire process.
Where else have you been besides Sierra Leone?
Yeah, so Sierra Leone was the first trip that I actually went on to do one of our hardware deployments, but we're actively serving communities in places like Burundi, where we're doing medical training, helping frontline workers, doctors, and nurses. We're doing some work in Haiti with orphanages and some schools. We have programs in Malawi. We have some in Zimbabwe. Right now, we're trying to reach to over 20 countries that we have on our wait list, and we're looking for more Montreal Canadian businesses to help us out to reach these students and also adults that are looking to get their education back on track and get back into the workforce.
Max, what was the spark for you to set up Capyo? What got you interested in the power of education?
Yeah, so I think when you look at society and a lot of the problems that we have, just as a world, really, a lot of them, come down to education and what are people learning and what resources do they have access to. When we first started our project, we realized that so much of this sort of industry is tied up in red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, and things move rather slowly. So we said, what if we take a fast-moving sort of startup mindset and apply it to this world, which, as I just said, has oftentimes taken a lot of time to make much meaningful progress. So started Capyo with a high school friend of mine, Ted, who's a computer scientist from Duke University, and we really just thought, let's bring our attitude to this problem and see how much of an impact we can have with this mentality.
What's your background? What training did you have before you started up the company?
Yeah, so the big thing with Capyo, something we're really proud of, is we don't try to pretend that we are educators or anything along those lines. My background, I was lucky enough when I was 16. I was born and raised in Montreal. I earned a scholarship to go play lacrosse in the U.S. I then went on to play at Division I level in the United States as well. And then when I came back, I started working with my high school friend Ted on this project. But the big thing was, we said, instead of trying to act like we're these, pedagogical experts or anything like that, instead, let's build a platform that revolves around the material and the sort of knowledge that already exists. So with Capyo, we partnered with researchers from the University of Montreal and some other pedagogical experts to design the platform. But really at its core, we're not there to tell you what you should be learning, how you should be learning, and how often you should be. Those standards for the majority of cases that we work in already exist. So our goal was really just to create a platform and a sort of system that supports local regions and all these different initiatives, with a limited amount of funding and a smaller team.
Why do you feel that it's important for kids in these developing nations to get experience with using a computer?
Yeah, so I think the reality with technology and kind of where the world is headed today, if a child is able to get some sort of technical knowledge, or they're able to get online and at least understand, what this computer is, there's a whole world of opportunity for them. Right now, a lot of the areas that we operate in, the jobs that exist are government jobs or large businesses that have predominantly, really kind of been the leaders in those areas. So there's very limited job opportunity. Our goal is to, create jobs for these workers, for these people, and bring in companies that are looking for help and are often not able to find it. So we're hoping to get kids online learning. We're hoping to get adults, not only in these regions, we're also doing work in Montreal with the YMCA. When you look at newcomers that arrive in Montreal, oftentimes, they're struggling to learn French. They're struggling to get a job. They're struggling to find, where is my next living situation? What's my next living situation going to look like? So we're doing work here in Montreal as well to get newcomers, children and adults on laptops learning French while also gaining the basic terminology that they need to get jobs. Not only, the traditional ones that we see newcomers get, but also trades and other sort of industries that are in high demand, and we currently just don't have the population to fill those roles.
Tell us about the link with the Rousseau family here in Montreal.
Yeah, so the Rousseau family, they're an amazing family. They are, primarily academics. Dr. Rousseau is a professor over at École Polytechnique, and they've been instrumental to what we've done. Mr. Rousseau, his father is a MIT computer scientist, and they've been really instrumental in not only helping us, deploy capital, but also on the guidance side of, education and what does real impact look like versus just marketing stats and so on. So, just beyond, funding and everything, they've been a huge help into, guiding us, but also ensuring that we're creating a sustainable model that's also scalable all around the world.
Max, talk to us about, scaling. When you dream big for Capyo, what are you dreaming?
Yeah, so my dream is that right now there's over 240 million kids in the world that actually have no access to education. So no school, no resources, nothing. There's, 40% of kids in sub-Saharan Africa are learning in languages that they don't currently speak at home. So my goal right now is, number one, we want to make sure that these 240 million kids have a place to go. It's instrumental to, our world, but also to a lot of the things that we see here at home. We need to fix a lot of these regions that people are coming from in order to, create a sustainable system. But my goal, more than anything, when we started this, is just to be a helpful resource to people. Some days that's thousands, some days it's just a couple. We just want to be something that's out there so that kids that, we meet with are inspired and recognize that they can do amazing things, even if they're from places that traditionally have not been able to provide those opportunities.
Max, where can people find out more about what Capyo does?
Yes, if you'd like to work with us or learn more about us, you can go to our website, Capyo, CAPYO.org. You can message me directly, max@capyo.org, and that's the best way to get in contact with us. Thank you.
Thank you for the interview, Max.
Of course, Trudie. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All the best. Bye.
Traffic.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
CA. Breaking news. Considered. The Elias Makos Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Well, it is kind of overcast out there now, but the forecast is telling us that we should be expecting some sunny breaks, maybe later in the day. They updated the forecast a few minutes ago. We are expecting a high of 27 degrees, the humidex at 32. Right now we're at 23 degrees, the humidex at 25. And look who's joining me in studio. Why, it's Joanne Vrakas teeing up the weekend.
How are you? You're good? Yeah?
I'm okay. I just, you know what? My foot just hit the lowering mechanism on my chair.
I was going to say that I know that you're a petite woman, but you have now completely disappeared behind the monitors. I can only see your glasses, by the way, and your forehead. I
hit that
How about
lever?
I lean over creepily towards you? You're okay. I wanted to say, before we talk about this weekend's show, public service announcement, even though there's going to be some cloud coverage. I did this silly thing. I made some poor life choices. I was at the lake house this weekend, and it was overcast.
Oh.
And I said to myself, let me grab my little book, put on a little bathing suit, and head over to the dock. Forgot the sunscreen, and I said to myself, it's okay, it's so cloudy. I am tomato red.
Oh.
I'm showing you my chest. Yeah. There's a lot going on, by
You're
the way.
flashing me in the studio.
You're shrinking. I'm flashing. But yeah, slather on the sunscreen because there were poor life choices I made. And so that is my public service announcement. Slather the sunscreen. And I'm Mediterranean. I'm not supposed to go red. I'm supposed to go golden.
Oh.
Yeah, this is bad.
I will make a personal confession about this because I'm very sun shy. We had a case of skin cancer in our family.
Oh,
my brother, when he was in his 40s. So
40s?
Yes, his 40s. And it was not an easy treatment. He's fine now. He's fine. It's 25 years later. He's fine. But I think, if you've got a genetic predisposition or whatever, if you've got it in the family. So I'm so careful. And I had burning sunburn in childbirth, like blistering sunburns in childhood, which teased me up for skin cancer. So now I'm very vigilant about the sunscreen and the and, you know, slathering myself, cover up, hat, all that kind of stuff. When we went on our cruise last month on our vacation, I took a look at my legs as I was packing.
How white?
And going, these are Canadian legs. These are going to, I'll be walking the decks and people will be looking at, yeah, she's from Canada.
It's that time, it's that first time of the year, right? When summer is like around the corner where you say, oh, let me pull out the legs, and it's blinding. And it's jarring.
It's like, as Kev said, it is like the pallid underbelly of a dead fish.
He's so romantic.
I know.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
He's very romantic.
He's so funny, though. I forgive him. So for the first time ever, I used fake tan.
Oh.
You know that?
You prepared yourself. Okay.
I did, you know, and you have to exfoliate.
Did you get it all over your hands?
No, because what you did, my daughter canceled me because, you know, you always go to the young women for the advice about the cosmetics and stuff like that. She said, buy the mitts, spring for the $8 mitt.
Oh, that's smart.
So it's a kind of like a velour-like surface on this mitt.
Yeah.
And then my $11 bottle of something Glow by Jergens, you know, that I found. And I was really happy with the results.
Can I tell you that this is a really spicy conversation? I flashed you, and now we're talking about your shiny legs.
Yes, that's right. But they're no longer blindingly white. They're very, very light golden.
Very well. Listen, any kind of golden is a good golden, I say.
So I'm converted to this home applied, because it's not like the old stuff that used to turn your palms yellow
and then it would like sweat
orange.
off in the rain.
Yeah,
but it is so important what you said, though, because we did talk about it on my show a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Labos, that early sunburns, by the way, in children
tee you up
for huge skin problems and potentially skin cancer. That's why I'm always running after my boys. Like I put the protective shirts on them, even because
UV tops. We wear those too. And one of the key things too is my dermatologist said, because you had those blistering bad sunburns in childhood, re-injuring the skin now is not good.
No.
So do not re-injure your skin. So that's another reason why you got to be vigilant as an adult.
It was such a crazy time. We were using tanning oil.
Baby lotion, baby oil.
And then the other thing, like, remember Noxzema? Noxzema was like a cure for everything.
That's true.
Everyone had that white nose, and like it would burn your skin even more when you applied it. It was a fever dream. The old days, and our parents didn't know.
And those reflectors we'd sit out with, you know. And if you didn't have them, you just used 2 tin pans.
I didn't know about the tin pans. Reek of desperation.
That was my low rent, you know. And every time burn, my nose would peel.
Yeah. No, this is no good. And
crazy.
you're very fair skinned, so you cannot. You need the floppy hats.
So what's coming up on now that we've got that out of the way?
Now that we got the fun stuff out of the way. No, it's going to be a fun weekend. I was just telling you, the Weekends with Joanne Vrakas has a little something for everyone. So we're going all over the place. We're speaking to a team of doctors in Sherbrooke that is one step closer to curing brain cancer.
Ooh.
They have a gel that they're putting in for now, animals, and they're trying to take a step forward. It's cured glioblastoma in animals, so it's very promising. They're looking for that next step, the next funding. That's in the University of Sherbrooke. It's also seafood season. You see how there's nothing, it's all over the place, but it's so much fun.
It's a smorgasbord of topics.
It's a buffet. But people want to do the lobster roll, but lobster's expensive in this economy. Chef V's going to be joining us with like seafood cheats for the summer. Still delicious. Our child psychologist will be discussing screens. We've used to blame teen anxiety on screens. All the problems our teens have. Turns out new studies show that it's something that parents were doing something wrong as well. More parental blame.
More guilt.
More guilt. Dr. Labos will be joining us to discuss stress, what it actually does to your brain and your body and how it makes its way to your heart. And then a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Sounds fabulous. That's all coming up. Do not miss it with Joanne Vrakas, Weekends with Joanne Vrakas on CJAD 800. I will be back in a sec.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd.
And more. All your decade-defining favorites all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.
I would like to extend my thank yous to technical producer Jimmy G in Master Control today. Thank you very much, Jimmy. He keeps us all on the straight and narrow all the way through the show. Thanks, Jimmy. Maxime Cadotte, content producer. He really pulled off a miracle. He pulled off 2 miracles today, actually. He got us the report just half an hour before the opening, the inauguration of the Gordie Howe Bridge. He arranged for that CTV reporter to join us from the scene. That was good. And he also got that statement from Youth Protection on the Batshaw story that the Gazette has been covering. So, Maxime, you're fabulous. Thanks very much. Please, folks, hope you have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.